Hello, Trekkers and Trekkers. Welcome back to another bonus episode. Today we are going to talk about Star Trek Prodigy, and my guest is Tommy of Trek Canon. In 2383, 5 years after the USS Voyager returned to Earth at the end of Star Trek Voyager, a motley crew of young aliens find an abandoned Starfleet ship, the USS Protostar. In the TARS Lamora prison colony, taking control of the ship, they must learn to work together as they make their way from the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant. In the second season, they joined Admiral Catherine Janeway as warrant officers aboard the USS Voyager A on a mission to find the original crew of the Protostar. Well, guys, welcome back, and welcome back, Tommy, of course.
Hello.
And we have an exciting episode to record today, and that, of course, is about Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes.
So, I would say, shoot away.
Okay, so off the bat, Prodigy. Let me tell you, I loved this series. This series was great. The visuals was great. The voice acting was great. Did I mention the visuals were great? Like, they put a lot of detail into the worlds, into the environments, into things that I absolutely never seen in Star Trek before. It was they expanded the lore as a overall. It was just great.
Yeah, I loved it too. This is one of the least series of Star Trek that I got hooked wide already. It was this one and Star Trek Enterprise. Those are two of my, I don't want to say, favorite series that I was totally hooked on right away at the first episode.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
And it is a totally different story, but it is also very familiar with all the Easter eggs.
Yes, with all the Easter eggs, the guest appearances, the references. It was. I love the way they put it together. It kind of reminded me of what they were going to do with Renegades, that fan fiction a few years ago, where they had that ragtag group people that was on a Starfleet vessel. It kind of almost reminded me of that premise, but it was cool.
It's I don't want to say totally different, but I must say it is also really made for kids, and I think they did a very good job at it. So kids that nowadays that don't know Star Trek and just like Lower Decks, or well, I think Lower Decks a bit too much, but this was really for kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Lower Decks, even though the art style and everything like that is, I wouldn't say, it's not nearly on par with Prodigy. It's not. It's that I think Lower Decks is made more towards old Trek heads because of so many of the references and kickbacks and everything like that to old classic Trek. But Prodigy, it was geared more towards the kids, getting them into wondering especially what Voyager was like. The perspective of having the teenagers running the ship. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But also, like,
it expanded that curiosity and amazement thing that those old shows used to have back in the day, like Flight of the Intruder or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also that the kids are in this series central because they always say you're just the non-Starfleet members, and but they did the job what Starfleet had to do, and what I really loved is that how much they you have four different Janeways in this series.
Yep.
And you know what I really loved is that they brought back the old Voyager, and then I'm not going to spoil this for you because you only have to see watch the last episode still.
The last episode, that's the last episode of the family. Yep, that's it. That's just the last thing.
So I'm not going to spoil that for you. But I really loved it that some of the old characters are coming back and just, like the Doctor as well and Chakotay. It was really nice to see them in an animated form.
Yes, and people like Wesley, like it was a surprise to see him.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I was shocked that he was in this. I didn't know that. And when he
yeah,
appeared, there's so much that's gonna be, well, in one way explained, and with all the time travels and etc. So that was really really nice. Um, is there any? Do you have any favorite characters?
oh wow, the characters. When it first, okay, I was biased when I first seen the first few episodes of Prodigy. I always thought, even from episode one, it was beautiful, but I was like, man, kids they don't even live by the Starfleet code and la 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 la. You know how I am when it comes to my Star Trek. But this is, after watching so many episodes and how they built upon each of the characters, gave each one of them
Yes.
not only a current story, but a backstory, a future story, rounded out their personalities so much. Like, even a little slime dude, man, like, sometimes I even know what he's saying.
And then he becomes the security officer.
Trying to be all cute, being the beat up security officer. Yeah, man. So the way that they put that crew together, it kind of reminded me, and I guess it's fitting for this series. It kind of reminded me of the trials and tribulations that the original Voyager crew had, because they all had different motives, came from different backgrounds. Basically was almost I wouldn't say enemies, but they were adversarial. What was it? The Marquis and Starfleet. You know what I mean? So having old girl who's from a planet that thinks that you guys is trying to kill him, and having her blend with your crew and kind of become your first officer. It's kind of like a new age Voyager crew, and I thought that was pretty cool how they wrote the characters and fleshed them out.
I do like. It is weird because every character has something that makes them them and make them likable.
hmm
And in the first few episodes, I couldn't get my finger on Rock that
Yeah.
used, and I thought it was a boy, but it was a girl who is really really soft natured.
Oh, the sweetheart. Rock is a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. And but also with Murph, I was thinking, okay, slimy thing, what the heck, And what about Jenkins? The
Jenkins?
yeah, the one with the robot arm.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I love that they featured a Tellarite when they
Yeah,
found him in
Tara.
and to have him, but not your typical Tellarite. To have him be kind of
Yeah.
on a short side, stubby side, you know, that guy is awesome. He reminds me so much of a real playful Chief O'Brien. Like the
Yeah.
ultimate of things. He just like anything that you need tinkering with, he could do it. He's not a full engineer, but he's just as good as one, just like O'Brien was.
Mm.
So I like him. You know, just you have full confidence in his abilities to put your ship together, keep it together. It might not be pretty. He was gonna have some pound marks on some things, but yeah, it's gonna work. I like them. I really liked all their personalities, especially what was his name? Zero. I really
Yeah,
like.
I like
What
Shiro
you think
too.
about that? Yeah. What you think about adding a Medusa? What you think about that?
Um, I don't. I don't know. It's just like you could go two ways with him, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a pity that and that's what I recognize that a bit of between me and my dad, but I think eventually that Granara is choosing Dell and Starfleet. I think that you see in the whole series is that there's so much background stories and there are so much realities, and you know that I'm not a fan of time traveling, but this actually was a bit clear to me what happens, and then I could follow it, and especially because Wesley was there, I was thinking, okay, it's more clear now because they kept it in one group, and one group that will travel in realities. That because what do you think about those the loom creatures?
The loom. You know. Okay. All right. So this is where we get a little tripped out. So the loom reminds me of those reality eaters from another series, and I forget
Yes.
what it was called, but basically, it was these creatures in this other series where basically, yeah, I think it was Doctor Who. Yep, it was Doctor Who. Okay, so here we go. Check it out. So, Prodigy. Now, for everybody who's listening, you got to understand that Star Trek has certain extended canons that you guys may not be aware of. Okay, one of those extended canons is to Doctor Who. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
the thing about those particular species, the lumens. Now, it's two particular phrases in Prodigy that I'm gonna remind everybody that they used. Okay, one of them was timey wimey. Okay, that's how they described. Okay, time shenanigans. Okay, and you know who made that famous? The ninth Doctor. I mean, the 10th Doctor. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now another one of the things was the pocket universes. Now, here we go. Or the pocket dimensions, I should say. Now, the luminous. If everybody remembers the luminous, whenever there's a paradox that happens, you have these creatures that come to set the paradox straight. They do that by eliminating the things that's making the paradox happen. Okay? And the episode, I think it was a Rose Doctor Who episode where Rose interfered with her father dying in an accident. Okay? And they had these creatures that came and was trying to set the paradox right while everybody was held up in the church. Okay? So, when I sing the lumens, so long story short, when I sing the lumens, right, the first thing that popped into my head was, oh, those the same things that be running around in Doctor Who. Oh, right, Doctor Who is from the same canon as Star Trek. Makes total sense. That's what I felt about the lumens. Yep. That's what I felt about the Lopez. That's what I got from them. Mm-hmm.
But those creatures were, like you said, were very, yeah, it is somewhere familiar from, and I can't remember where they are from.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what do you think about that episode, Kobayashi Maru, with when Dal went go to the simulator and he was on the Enterprise D bridge with Beverly Crusher, Spock,
Mm.
Odo, and Uhura.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I also love the point that they were trying to make with him in that particular Kobayashi Maru episode,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that episode was a great turning point for his character in the series. But yeah, man, seeing all of them on the bridge, I was like, oh, they did this for me. Yeah, it was really cool to see, some of the superstars from, the OGs of Star Trek, working
was
with them,
brilliant.
it brings, and if you think about it, those people would be, people that would be recreated in really cool simulations, because these are the heroes of Star Trek, of Starfleet. You'd be like, oh wow, I got her as one of the holograms that was in the Kobayashi Maru. Wow, I think that would be something that they would do, because they would be, heroes.
It is, and it is nice that they, they got characters that are very important in all the three series.
Mm-hmm.
So in each time, What about we see of course Wesley Crusher as the Traveler. What do you think about that they let him play a part in all this?
Well, I'm happy. One, because it seemed for a minute that Star Trek had forgot about Wesley for a minute. They had a lot of the Easter eggs, callbacks, guest appearances, and everything like that, and even mentions of people's names that they had in New Trek. None of them really mentioned Wesley. It was kind of like, oh, Wesley gone with the trouble. Well, good riddance. So to even have Beverly come in, and for one, to have Beverly come in and then to talk about Wesley, it was cool. Now, as for Wesley himself, I've never known Wesley to be bungling unless it had to do with a pretty girl. Other than that, Wesley was pretty logical, consistent thinker. He was really grounded. You know what I mean? He worked alongside people like Geordi and Data for the longest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was. So I don't know why they had him so eccentric as he was. So confusing, so eccentric, riddle-like as he was in the series. But it was still good to see him.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm gonna have to say, because I'm gonna put this out on record right now. Especially when they ended up in what was this, Gary Seven's office. Oh, when they ended up in Gary Seven's office from 1968 to get away from the loopers. Oh, that whole little situation right there, just the only thing they was missing was the cat. Oh, that right there just brought a big old smile, big old Kool-Aid grin on my face right there. That was awesome how they did that.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was really have to get used to it. That was the uniforms of the Protostar crew. So Del, Gwenara, Rock. They have three different kind of uniforms. What do you think about those uniforms?
They grew on me. Let me tell you something. To date, my best uniform, the one that if I ever have a choice to have, it was always that Picard uniform with the gray shirt with the suede red jacket, right? That was always my favorite uniform. Second only to the Deep Space Nine uniforms. But the Protostar uniform the one that Gwen wore in season 2, the gray and black with the gold, That was beautiful. I love the Starfleet designs of the uniforms. I even love that Janeway reference that they got those designs from Admiral Janeway when she went back in the past. Because, Starfleet notorious for jacking designs that they really like, uniforms and starships. Think of the Dauntless. But, yeah, the uniform designs really grew on me. I really like it. What about you?
It grown on me too, because the first one, I had my thoughts about it, but when they got further in the season, I started liking them, and especially when they were in those episodes when they were in a loom reality time, and that Rock was the longest alone. Yeah, it was something that I was saying. Yeah, they grown on me, and especially the latest one, the latest in season 2. I kind of like it because it is totally different than the normal uniforms, and of course, the latest uniform is a bit of the racing uniforms that we know from Voyager. And of course, talking about the last uniforms, we also come, of course, to the Nova Squadron.
Oh, yes. Yes. The Nova Squadron. Always cool cats. First of all, you can't talk about the Nova Squadron without talking about the Vulcan. She was awesome.
And
she was awesome.
You do know what her name is, right?
I forget. What is her name?
Majel. As in Lwaxana Troi.
Get out of here.
Dude, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
They called the Vulcan. They called the Vulcan Majel because of honoring her in all Star Trek.
Major Barry, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Yeah, she really was cool to me.
I liked her. That for Vulcan.
Beautiful Vulcan lady. I said, all right. And she played the Vulcan well. Like everything you expect a Vulcan to say and do. There you go.
And still she has that open mind of for other species, etc. Because she fell in love with Zero.
Yes, she
did. Yes, she did. Okay. So remember I was talking to you earlier about Zero, right? So here's the thing about Zero. Okay. And I wonder if you noticed this. So you have in all of
Star Trek history, every other being that wasn't human, right? Star Trek has always embraced their culture and always embraced them as a species, okay? Even Data had a couple of times where even though he's always striving to be more human as far as his humanity goes, he's never wanted to change into a human. He denied the Borg when they offered it. He denied Q when he offered it. He was always, I am an android. I'm proud to be an android, but, I want to be more than just that and embrace humanity. Okay. So it was interesting, the choice that they made with Zero, because especially with the Medusan, because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, Medusans, even though they're rarely ever shown in canon, when they are, they never struck me as being having a problem with being non-corporeal. They always seemed like they were proud that that's what they were. Like that's their thing. We're able to navigate the galaxy because of us being Medusan. Now, the thing with Zero is that Zero's whole thing was to change his whole identity, and that was a weird writing concept for me as far as Star Trek went. Like, he wasn't proud of I got the impression, I could be wrong, I got the impression he wasn't proud of his Medusan self, that he got swept away with the census thing and wanted to become corporeal. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, so I thought that was a weird writing choice with him, but still as a character, I loved him, and especially his relationship with me.
Yeah. Me too. Let's see. What do I have more? Oh! What about that reference of the whales?
Okay. So I was mid-drink. I was drinking and they excuse me. And they had got turned into the mirror universe. I was mid-drink with my soda, right? And it ran past the whale. Turned out there was an evil whale. Oh, I just cracked up, spit my soda out. That just got me right there, because that would make sense, because the whale that they had in the other episode, nice, just as beautiful and, easygoing as, Gracie and them. That's got to be one of their descendants, of course. But I love the fact that he was able to communicate with the slime dude.
Yeah, with Murph.
With Murph, like, to have the whale on the ship, and then to be like, hey, you know what? Our universal translators are not working. Hey, the whale's good at understanding non-universal translating working stuff. Remember, they didn't say it, but people who know Star Trek, they was trying to communicate with that probe, and that wasn't working. None of the stuff they was doing was trying to communicate with that probe. But guess who could do it? The whales. Exactly. So I like the fact that they put that in it. It was really nice.
Yeah, I had to laugh too, because it reminded me right away of the. I thought that was Star Trek 4. Was that Star Trek 4? I believe so, right? With the whales.
I believe it was. Let me see. 1, let me see 2. Yep, I believe it was 4.
And of course, we also have that episode with Klingons and Tribbles.
Super Tribbles. Oh, look. I knew something was wrong with the Tribbles when it bit rock. Because Tribbles, 1, don't bite. And 2, they not finna bite rock. So, and when I say rock, I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the actual material, because I believe that's what rock is made out of, is rock. Or whatever he made out of is really hard. The Tribble bit here to make him say ouch? Make her say ouch? No. And then to see the giant Tribbles, that was an ultimate nightmare. But it was really cool to see the remnants of a planet affected by the Tribbles. We always hear about them being ecological disasters and everything like that, and why people want to eliminate them. But we never see what happens to a planet after the Tribbles, and now we see.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. And also, the fact that there are so many species that we know in Star Trek that is in the series. And it is so nice to see. And of course, like you said, the Medusa is just like a totally new species. But it's very nice to see that there is something new in it. And I think it's a very good way to get kids acquainted with the species of Star Trek.
Yep. And the thing is about Star Trek, and especially what the writers don't get, is there's over 100 member worlds. Like, it's 100 worlds that's part of the Federation itself. You don't have to necessarily make new species all the time. We can meet member world species that we've never even seen before.
Yeah.
Or especially like those cat species that you rarely ever see, that was at the court, when Kirk was getting court-martialed. You see those cat-looking panther species. We don't know nothing about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a whole lot of species in member worlds that people can get introduced to, and being and Prodigy using a Tellarite, using a Medusan. All of these are member world people that are very rarely ever shown or mentioned in Star Trek. But, because of Prodigy, people get to be like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. And the Tellarite is one of the 3 founding members. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, and the Medusan. Oh, and it was in the original series. Oh, okay. I see. And they still had telepathy. Wow. Let me look at this episode then. So, when they include cool stuff like that, you get to not only expand the lore, but go back and see where the lore came from. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and I think that makes it very entertainment. But like for example with Jenkins, the Terrorite, we don't know the Terrorite like that. Jenkins is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really that I was thinking, alright, he's a Terrorite, and that is so nice to see a Terrorite laughing and making fun things, He has those comments that I'm thinking, oh dude, you can't be a Terrorite.
But see, that's the thing. Tellarites, they what they consider it a sign of respect when you basically when you roast somebody, when you insult them. The first time we seen Tellarites was when Spock's parents came on board and they was transporting everybody to that one conference, and they had those 2 Tellarites and Dorians and all of them people on board.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tellarites was insulting Kirk. So Kirk had to come back with the insults because that's how that was a Tellarite form of that was their culture.
Mm-hmm.
So to have him be like, okay, you know what, a lot of people think that stuff I'm saying hurt their feelings, man. Let me at least try to be nice. That was even more funny.
Hey, and what
that's why that
Mm-hmm.
That's why that Lieutenant Tellarite, the one on Janeway's ship, that's why every time she seen him, that's why every time the doctor seen him, the tall Tellarite, he'll insult him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it was their way of culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't because they didn't like him. It was because he was a Tellarite.
And then what do you think of the starship? No, I forgot the name.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I
Don't say
forgot the
Protostar.
name. Yeah, Protostar.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. I forgot Jenkins. It's okay. So, all right. So let me tell you. First, remember I told you that I think that Prodigy has some of the best visuals and imaginative interpretations I've seen in Star Trek, right?
Mm.
That also goes for their ships and ship designs. I thought that the Protostar, okay, because here we go again. I'm an old Trek head person, so it's kind of hard for me to change. I'd be kind of weary of change. So when you throw in the third nacelle, right, I get a little weird about that. But when I got to know why the nacelle was there, I loved it. I loved the design of the Protostar. I love the way the bridge was laid out with that space, with that big glass.
I love the bridge.
Oh, the bridge was awesome. I loved the whole ship. I loved the new Voyager that they had. That was a beautiful ship. I love the fact that they included the Defiant class vessel.
Mm-hmm.
It was their ship designs were beautiful. Even their alien ship designs, beautiful. It was they whoever did the ship designs put a lot of
love into it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and they accounted the Borg as well with it.
Yes. Still as fun as always.
Talking about villains, who is your favorite villains in the series?
The villains okay. Now, for everybody who doesn't know, yes, O'Connor is a villain. I don't care what nobody.
Oh my God! When he came in view, I was thinking, oh no, not him, and he became, oh my God. But go on, but go
That's
on.
that's what I mean. You know, like that's the way you write a villain. Somebody, if, O'Connor to me is kind of like you know, the villain that you see and you be like, you have the same reaction to him as when you see somebody like Harry Mudd. You know, when you see
Yeah.
Harry Mudd and when you see, you know, you get the same. You know, that's the feeling you get. So I love the fact that they had O'Connor in it as a villain. That instant lady, she was kind of over the top, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
I understand why she was doing what she was doing. She had strong conviction in it, but she was a little over the top. So that robot that was her, that yeah, he was menacing.
Mm,
I did, you know, who I did really love as a villain, the first season's villain, Gwen's dad.
yeah.
He was a really three-dimensional villain to me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
The love he had for his daughter. You could see why he was trying to save his people. You know, it wasn't like he was just trying to destroy Starfleet because he wasn't over the top like the season 2 Ensign girl. He had a lot more to him than that. You know, he had moments of compassion. You
mm-hmm.
know, of honor, dignity. He had, you know, moments of salvation. You know, I dare say humanity. You know what I mean? He
Mm-hmm.
was a really good villain.
And of course we have Taran Janeway and Chakotay.
Yes. Yep.
That was
Yep.
really,
Terrence Williams.
yeah.
They should have just went ahead and kissed. I don't know why they should have just went ahead and kissed. When they was up
Yeah.
in the jail cell and she said, torture him the way you want and grabbed his face and got all close. They should have just come on. They should have
They
went ahead and
still
kissed.
back off
That's
about JC. And
yeah, like come on. Oh, and then the OG
they
the
flirt.
goatee.
Yeah, they
He
were
had to paint the
flirting so
goatee on his face.
much. They were flirting so
Oh,
much and no kiss.
right, you know what I'm saying? They was flirting hard. You know what I'm saying? None of that. So I was like, okay, sure. But I love them. I love of course, the Mirror Universe people are always over the top. You will expect them to be over the top. Think of Kira when she played
Mm.
her Mirror Universe stuff in Deep Space Nine, over the top. You know, so yeah, I love the way they put the Chakotay put that grease on his face to make the goatee so he can have his evil side. What was his name, little Murph? Even he put one on his face.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, you know, I really like them, man. They grew together as a team and as a family, just like the
Yes.
Voyager family did. Yeah, I
And it's
really like
also
them.
nice to see that Chakotay, although because they really have to convince him that there was a way out, um,
Mm.
it's nice to see that they didn't portray Chakotay as we know as the younger Chakotay in a way.
Yeah, he kind of seemed like he reverted back to his, I want to say, his Marquis days.
Yeah.
You know, his survival. You know, and it's realistic the way they wrote it because so you got this dude who just tried to save the Federation. He ended up stranded on this island somewhere. His best homie that he didn't listen to, well, ends up meeting the fate that he did, and you spend the next 8, 9, 10 years here with hologram Janeway. Yeah,
Mm.
you're gonna be a little rough around the edges, only eating fish eggs. You know, yeah, but I love the way that they were able, the cadets were always able to keep to their Starfleet principles. Hey, you know what? We got to fix a ship, but first let's fix a captain. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah,
Starfleet to
yeah.
say. Yeah, let's fix a captain. Let's do this. That was awesome.
What do you think? I will get that in a minute. But there's something else. You remember that when they were in this pyramid with Wesley and the loom
Mm.
creatures, and Voyager was defending them. We see the Janeway that we saw in Um, which one was that? I can't remember now, but it was the Janeway with the gray top on and going Lara Tomb thingy. What do you think about that Easter egg? In a way.
If I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, I like the two Easter eggs that I remember from that when she got to that temple was one when she crash landed in a Fido shuttle, and she said she learned that from Tom Paris, right? And the next one was the stuff that she could handle because I think she said she turned into a lizard once. Okay, referencing the whole thing other with Tom Paris. But I would like to say, since she brought up that temple, that was beautiful. Just the size of... Okay, remember when I said, again, this Prodigy did beautiful things visually. The size of that temple, the detail that they put into that temple, I wish that they would have been able to explore and go into the civilization that had anything to do with that temple. And for some reason, why nobody that's not human
feels anything about guardrails, safety banisters, or anything. They just have these ledges that you walk on with emptiness and death abyss on each side. The Romulan mining ship had that, man. Put up some guardrails so people, some handholds or rope or something so people won't fall off the edge.
I don't know what they be doing with their architecture, but love the architecture of that particular temple pyramid that they were in. Love the way they did it.
What do you think about the people of the species like Granara?
Granara?
Yeah,
okay.
Like Gwen. Let us say Gwen and her dad. That's a totally different species.
Okay.
Their species and their culture. One, I would love to know more about them. Okay. Two, their culture seems, one of the reasons I love their culture is the symbolism and their
mix of symbolism and architecture with
their daily lives, especially like those swords and shield things that they're able to, that totems, I guess they call them, and how those mix in with the architecture and the technology that they have on their planet. Love that. I love the costumes and everything, and the look of the people
that they have. I love, when they get around people or get emotional, the way they light up, kind of like Book from Discovery. Oh my God, did I bring up Discovery? I'm sorry. I try not to do that.
But I also love the fact that they're xenophobic, because we've met so many species in Star Trek that is xenophobic. You want to stay away from everybody real,
just real like paranoid about people. Totally normal because of the species that we know exist in Star Trek. Totally understandable. I love the fact that they, although they are super advanced, they cling to their old culture. But I would love to know more about, because again, I haven't seen the final episode. I would love to know more about why they feel Starfleet and that Civil War, and if it had anything to do with that Instant Girl actually making a bootstrap paradox. But that's okay. I'm probably getting ahead of myself.
Okay. The one thing that I also like is that they use the Star Trek Picard com badge. Did you notice?
Yeah. Yes. But that's the future com badge. Well, it's not the future imperfect com badge. That's a whole nother episode, whole nother badge. One of my favorite badges. Let's not talk about that. But that badge, it's and I like the consistency that they be trying to bring across the board. But I do love that they did at least acknowledge the fact that Chakotay was like, yeah, man, my badge is out of date. Oh, yeah, this is the same badge that Janeway had from the future and everything. Like, yeah. So, um, yeah, I like the fact that they included that insignia, and I love that insignia. It's my third best insignia.
Yeah, me too. Hey, what do you think about the intro theme of Prodigy?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. It's only 2 Star Trek series that have words in their themes. Okay. Star Trek the original series and Enterprise. Let's not talk about that theme song. A lot of people either love it or a lot of people either hate it. I'm in the group of when I heard that theme song, the first thing I did was go out and buy the soundtrack to Star Trek Enterprise, and it had that theme song on it. Why? Because I love that theme song. Now, that being said, Prodigy sticks to the whole theatrical, orchestral vibe that Star Trek is known for. You know, the whole Jerry Goldsmith, showing the shots of the ship going through various parts of space, especially, done especially well in Voyager, So, yeah, I love the intro.
Good. Yeah, me too.
I gotta ask you, right? So you asked me about the uniforms. Which one was your favorite?
Probably the last one that they got. But I always loved the older ones that we know from Starfleet. But also, I do like the Discovery Season 2 uniforms, the one that I've been married in. And but it's every uniform has something, and it is nice to see that the kids having different uniforms because they grow, and they grow also in experience, and it is nice to see that they get already missions that our normal Starfleet cadets don't get. So yeah, that's what. Yes.
That's the way of Starfleet, though, because historically in Star Trek canon, everybody. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody. People get accepted into Starfleet, and then they become cadets, right? But it's those people, even the officers of Starfleet, that stand out when they go beyond just being, cadets, just regular officers. So it's kind of always been that way. Really cool cadets who wanted to go beyond. Wesley Crusher, he was one of the first cadets on the bridge, acting ensign, cadet. The Red Squadron, they was on that mission with the Defiant, running around in Deep Space Nine somewhere, trying to do their thing after the crew got messed up. So, it's always cool to see, Nog, he's another great example. It's always great to see those cadets. They want to go beyond, that Starfleet officers allow them to, go beyond, and especially acknowledge the contributions that they make despite their age.
Yeah, it was so funny how they reacted that they got the pips. That was so funny. Yeah, especially Jenkins that's saying, "Hey, we're going to get pips. We go be cadets."
Oh man! And when my guy found out that he was an augment, I felt so sorry
yes.
for him. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't thought that would happen, to be honest. I thought he would be just like just a normal kid, who has poverty, etc. And then, I never thought that he would be an augment.
Right. And, especially, and I love the way that Janeway phrased her argument that, the Federation is founded over, with all these member worlds, and this dude represents 26 of those species. And I love the way she phrased that. But, I guess there is President Una. She was an augment. They allowed her to stay in Starfleet. Bashir, he was an augment. They allowed him to stay in Starfleet. So on very rare occasions, they will allow, if that argument,
And
one
Una.
isn't trying to take. Yeah, and only if they allow exceptions, as long as the argument don't show, say, con tendencies and want to eventually take over everybody. There we go.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
And of course we have that, he had that Ferengi mom.
Ferengi mom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was funny too.
Having a Ferengi relative in any capacity is always just space for comedy right there. Just
having a Ferengi, even having a Ferengi just in an episode is comedy in itself right there.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of episode it is comedy. I think it's only been one episode that they ever featured Ferengi in that was not funny by any means. That was the Siege of AR 358 on Deep Space Nine. Other than that, whenever you get Ferengi in the episode, is especially when all those Ferengi got together on Deep Space Nine, decided they wanted to go and save
Quark's mother, right, from the Jem'Hadar,
Yeah.
the border. Yeah.
Yeah, Ferengi. Talking about that, you would like to, I think I said it before, there is a episode in Star Trek Online, especially around the Ferengi. And the Ferengi and the Iconians. And this in this episode, we see Quark, Rom, Nog, and a few other Ferengis going to the Iconian planet, and they are retrieving the sword of Kalas back.
Okay.
And it is funny as hell. And we even hear Quark screaming, and we have it's a very nice story arc, because we see it's the whole Gamma Quadrant episode with Odo and Keanu Reeves and Benjamin, all of the Deep Space Nine characters, and it's typical Ferengi. Really funny.
A lot of people ask me, hey, do you ever play Star Trek Online, right? Because it has this storyline, and I always say, no. And they'd be like, why? Because, and they say, because it's canon. I'd be like, okay, listen. Okay, so the sword of Kalas couldn't I'm finna nerd out. I'm finna nerd out now, right? The canon part finna come out of me. Okay, the sword of Kalas couldn't possibly end up on an Iconian planet. Why? Because Dax, Worf, and Core beamed that sword into space in the Delta Quadrant, right? To not be found for like ever. And they went on their way and they run about. So when people tell me storylines like that, right? My red flags go up and I start thinking to myself, how did it go from floating in space to Iconian world in the Beta Quadrant? How did that? That's a lot of floating. That's a lot of floating. That's what floated. But yes, having a Ferengi mother, man, that's got to be an awesome just thing. Every time they talk, it's just got to be the funniest thing ever. Like, oh my God, you are my mother.
I think we talked about everything a bit. So, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, not having seen the final episode,
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna like that. I can assure you, you're gonna like that.
Oh man, not having seen the final episode, I just like to talk about real quick some of the highlights that just whoop pop in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the the planet that they went to where Zero got that body,
Mm-hmm.
right? That planet was beautiful. Also, I love the fact that they name dropped two other non-corporeal species, one of them being the Organians. That was
Mm-hmm.
cool. Second, same episode. I loved that air beast and the visuals that they gave him
Oh
as he
yes,
was
the
flying around.
mantra.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. And he's not trying to eat them. He's trying to eat the things the little plant things that's floating up, kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
um, whales eat. They ain't trying to eat big people. They're just trying to eat the. Now, if you get caught up in that, that's a different story. But
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. Okay, I love how they built the team that they built from the first episode up to the almost last episode that I've been watching. As far as, hey, no matter where we get separated to, we always know that, hey, we can always, if we just put out, hey, Protostar crew to the bridge, everybody know who we talking about. We're gonna drop everything we can doing. Rock, even you trying to abide by being in Starfleet and doing Starfleet rules, even you gonna be like, okay, all right, fine, we're gonna go find something cute. That's what we're gonna do. All right. That was another great thing that I loved about it. The way that they had that wormhole in the sky off of that
Mm.
one, beautiful. Even, it was just a lot of beautiful things that I was just like, wow, that the way that they had the protostar surfing on a cloud, a thick cloud of water, when they was trying to get to that deuterium thing at the eye of the storm. Beautifully done. I just love so much about that series. I highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really beautiful. Did really a good job with it.
Hmm. It wasn't just beautiful artistically, beautiful the way that they built the characters, beautiful storylines with the episodes. It wasn't just always funny or goofy. They had serious moments, just like Star Trek. Just like Star Trek should be. Highly recommend.
Oh, and they had their own clones.
All house rounds when they switch personalities. Let me tell you something.
And
It's
then,
the easiest way easiest way to distract the EMT, the doctor, right?
yes,
The easiest way to distract him is to play to his ego. That is the easiest way to distract. Hey, you are such a great performer. How do you perform such a thing? How do you write such? How do you sing? That's the classic way to distract
the doctor from almost anything. There you go, right there. Play to his ego.
it's still the
great that they kept
doctor.
that in. Mm-hmm. Dude was hilarious. I'm a
As
doctor, not an
always.
exorcist.
Yes.
Oh God, his bones came out heavy in this. Oh, he said, "I'm a doctor, not an exorcist." Yeah, that's the doctor. Yeah. So, what about you? What was your big takeaway from Prodigy? How did you like it overall?
I loved it. Like I said, I was hooked right away since the first episode, and had my expectation a bit of like Lower Decks, but it was totally different. And yeah, like you said, the artistic things like the planets, the ships and the characters. It was also beautiful. That's why I always recommend everyone who has kids and they want to make them acquainted with Star Trek, watch Prodigy. And even for grown-ups, Prodigy is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure is. You think they're gonna get a season 3?
I hope so. talk about
Me too.
next seasons, what are your expectations of Star Trek Lower Decks season 5 and of course the Section 31 movie?
Okay, so Section 31 movie, I have my doubts. However, as everybody who knows me know, Michelle Yeoh was my childhood wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I love Michelle Yeoh. Okay, I had a crush on her when I was a kid. You know, when she used to play with Cynthia Rothrock and Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was. So, I thought that she was great. Okay, I mean, I gotta say it. She was great in Discovery, right? And she was over the top in Discovery like she was supposed to be. Why? Because she's from the Mirror Universe. And again, everybody in the Mirror Universe is over the top. That being said, Section 31 movie, I got my doubts, but it is Star Trek. I will see it. Like, it ain't even no doubt about that. I will see it. I know Michelle Yeoh doesn't put out bad movies. Okay, for instance, the movies Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Again, Michelle don't do bad movies. So, I'm looking forward to it, you know, because she's attached to it. As far as Lower Decks, I always look forward to Lower Decks. Like, Lower Decks cracks me up. I don't care how I'm feeling. If I put on Lower Decks, I will laugh. I will chuckle. They get the canon exactly right. Whoever goes through and be like, hey, let's put this particular Easter egg in here and say this. It is exactly on point. You could go back to whatever it is that they reference. It exists. Ain't no guessing, none of that. I love Lord Decks for that. And I got to see the trailer for Strange New Worlds. Okay, they're upcoming. Yes, I got to see the upcoming season trailer, you know, and at first watching it, I was like, oh man, they back into the pew, 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 pew. But the way that they was talking to each other and handling the pew, 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 pew in that episode, I mean, in that trailer, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, me too. It's just and there is they say that there is a new there will, I don't know if this is in Section 31, but I saw something about that about a new series, probably like Captain 7. It's supposed to be in the sphere of Star Trek Legends. That's supposed to, but
I've been hearing rumors about that, but I haven't heard too much as far as concrete about that, which would be that would be an awesome show.
mm-hmm.
I think they are moving ahead with Star Trek, Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm like, hold up. The point of Star Trek, man, we exploring strange new worlds. How we gonna do that in San Francisco and Starfleet Academy? That's just gonna be drama. I don't want to be dealing with futuristic Beverly Hills 90210.
No.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be dealing with Star Trek Friends. I don't want this, man. Come on, man. I want to be Star Trek different world. I don't want that. I don't want Star Trek in space. Let's do some or on a space station. But that's still in space. Let's keep it space stuff. Let's do some Final Frontiering instead of the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's not. So I got my doubts about Star Trek Academy. You know what I mean? Starfleet Academy. I got some serious doubts about that.
Well, we only can wait what they are doing.
Yep, I'm gonna watch it because if I watch Discovery, I mean, it can't get no worse than Discovery, man. I'm gonna still watch it. I got optimism, but I don't know. No.
Well, I think this is the end of the episode. We talked a lot. Again, over for an hour.
Nah, not us. But people have fun.
Yes, of course. have fun. I think we will probably do another episode soon, because of course we're gonna do the Deep Space Nine episode, of course.
Oh, you know I'm always here for that one.
And but in a few weeks, I'm going to recap Final Mission. You wanna join me at that one?
Of course. Final Mission? What you talking about? What you talking about Final Mission? What's this Final Mission talk?
Final Mission is about that was the last official Wesley did before he went to the academy. He and Picard crashed down on this planet, and there was this pilot who was disrespectful against Picard, and well, Wesley saved Picard.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Yes, I remember the episode thoroughly.
So
yep, the second time that the traveler appeared.
Yeah. So I will. We will talk soon again, I would say.
Oh, no doubt. Okay, I'm looking forward to it as always, and as always, I really appreciate the conversation, man, and spending time with you guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining me again. It was it was fun again. We have a lot to talk about, and we had fun with talking about Prodigy. So we keep each other posted, I would say.
Yes.
And thank you for joining, of course.
Thank you for having me.
And we will talk soon.
All right, bye everybody.
Thank you for listening, and I will be back soon with another bonus episode for you guys. If you have any track subjects you'd like to talk about, let me know, and I will see when I will make this episode. You can send an email with your name, subject, where I can reach you, and if you'd like to be my guest to Trekkie1982 stow@hotmail.com. I will contact you as soon as possible. You can also use this email address if you have any questions, suggestions, ideas, or something else you'd like to discuss. Of course, I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. Trekking Around is to listen on Spotify, Amazon Music, the Facebook group, and the YouTube channel. Live long and prosper!